Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kita masuk kembali dengan materi power, authority, responsibility, and delegation. This is for introduction to management. Yeah, for our second semester. The first, we come to this slide. What is power? Power is an ability to influence people or to change people or situation. Yeah, that is power. An ability to change and influence people or situation. And now we come, power means the logical consequence at which is exists in every organization. It is there is leader and also the employee, top management, and the low management. Yeah, the factor that cause the power is reward power, coercive power, legitimate power, expert power, and also reference power. You can read here. Reward power means the power to give a word, yeah, reward, yeah. And then coercive power means the power to give punishment or judgment. And then legitimate power means a legal power, the rising power as consequences of one certain legitimate, yeah. And then expert power means the power based on expert, yeah, based on expert. And also the referent power means that the rising power because the characteristic, the expected characteristic by someone or a group of people toward someone or toward a group. Okay, and then we continue to the authority. Basically, the authority is another form of power, and sometimes it is used in an organization. Authority is a formal power or legitimate. Here we can see the point of view of formal authority. First, classical view shows that the authority basically is born because of there is a higher authority or given authority. And then talking about the receiving view here, formal authority will be accept or maybe depends on the employee, yeah, accepted by the employee, depends on requirements as follow. Number one is the employee understand what is the boss or what is the manager wants, and then what is the consistency of the order, and then the employee is able mentally or physically do what is ordered, yeah, what is instructed by the manager or the boss, what is they are ready, whether they are ready or not, yeah. And then we talk about the responsibility here. Responsibility here is a duty to do or report anything, yeah, based on the authority we have, yeah. For example, I have an authority to do a phone call to the student, and then I do the call based on the duty. It's my job, yeah, that's why I do it. Okay, and then delegation. Delegation means here a process when I have a job as a boss, for example. I need to attend a meeting, for example. And then, but I have some problem. I cannot attend the meeting, and then I delegate my job to my partner. And then here, so the purpose of the action of the activity will be gained, will be achieved. Yeah. So the process of exchange of the duty to another person or legitimate person, and to do another activity and various activity which is proposed to gain, to achieve the organization's goal. What is the purpose of delegation? Number one is probably the employee, our staff, maybe will learn something new and get a chance to do something new, right? And then the second one is here maybe there is a good decision in any kind of term. And then also maybe the job will be finished faster than before. What is the consequences, the negative consequences that stop delegation, that make the delegation cannot work here, like the staff, the staff doesn't have ability. When you delegate someone and someone is not able to do what you ask, so it will not work. And then lack of responsibility, the second, lack of responsibility to what he did. Okay, for example, I ask my staff to do, please help me to follow that meeting, but my staff doesn't attend the meeting, so it doesn't work. The key, what is the effective key? Trust. We as a leader has a big trust, must believe that our staff can do it with its own way. And then there is an open communication between manager and the employee. And the last one, and the third, the manager ability to understand the organization purpose or goal, the chart, and then also in any kind of job. And we have to understand our employee ability. And what should we do to make it effectively? First, we decide what will we delegate, and then decide who is deserved to get the delegation. And then we have the right or the required human resources, and the job can be delegated, and we can do intervention when it is required or it is needed. 7 steps to get a successful delegation. The first one, identify the result, and then decide the standard or the procedure, and then also choose or select the resource, and guarantee the reward and the consequences. When you do this, this is the reward. When you cannot do this, this is the consequences. Okay, and let them try. Let them free to practice. And the last one, give a total responsibility to the one who we get the delegation. And the 7, do not let them go, but do supervision. Supervise their progress. I think that's it. And now we can continue to the communication in an organization. Here, what is communication? Is a process to send a message. Yeah. And then also we can see here the important element in communication. Communication, it needs people. And also we need a group that communicate and understand and consider in any circumstances and any kind of phrases or idioms or anything they use in doing communication. And also communication sometimes needs symbols. Now this is the process of communication. There is a communicator, there is a speaker, message as encoding, and then there is a channel and decoding, and we communicate with others. When there is a, for example, like this is the same with language program. There is a speaker, there is a message, and there is a listener. A listener gives a response to the communicator. So when it is a match, so the communication will be bridged. Okay, we continue. There is a response, right? As we discussed before. And then there is a disruption here. It depends on the decoding. Sometimes what we want to say, people doesn't get what we want to say. For example, I ask you to go to the market, for example, but you go to the church. That's a falsy, yeah. This is the sword, yeah. This is the sword of the communication needs source, receiver, media, and the message, of course. The communication in organization, there is an interpersonal, there is an also communication in kind of networking or something else, and the form of communication in the structure of structural organization. What is interpersonal communication? Between one and another. One and another. It is written and oral. Yeah, written and oral. And this is sometimes we can see in communication link here. There is a form, there's a pattern between people who can communicate with others. Yeah. For example, from number 1, he sends the message to number 4, to number 5, to number 2, to number 3, and there is a web, like a web, yeah. There is a form of the pattern of wheel and some like this. Number 1 to number 3, number 2, number 5, number 4, and this is the Y form, yeah. 1 to 4, 1 to 5, 1 to 2, 1 to 3. We have to understand this form. Yeah? When you are number 1, you in the wheel form, you can send to number 2, number 4, number 5, number 3. But when you goes to Y form, you only send to number 4 and number 5 and number 2. Number 2 and will relate to number 3. Okay, so it doesn't mean that you have to number 1 to number 3. No, you do not need to do it. You just go to number 1 to number 3, number 2 only. And then how about number 3? Number 3 only, you only need one person, and then one person will go flows to number 3, number 4, number 5. How about number 4? Yeah, you communicate each other here in the circle organization. Number 1 to number 2, number 2 to number 3, number 3 to number 4, number 4 to number 5, and number 5 back to you again. This is the form of communication in the organization. All channel. You can. This looks like a star, right? Number 1 to number 2, number 2 to number 3, number 3 to number 4, number 4 to number 5, and then there is a channel here. There's a channel. They are relate each other. And then what else? The pattern means the pattern means there is the form, yeah, in which part we can communicate with one and another. There is a horizontal and there is also a vertical. What factors influence the form, the pattern of the communication in an organization? For example, there is a formal communication. There is an authority and hierarchy organization. There is a positioning specialization, and also there is an information owning information. Here, for example, minimum, yeah, we try to make the problem of communication, we put it into the lower, the basic form, like individual, and also maybe the problem in organization, and also we can increase the effectiveness of communication here, and that's it for it. Now we can continue to the leader. What is the function of leader? Leadership here, you can see here, based on Swan's book, you can read it here about Terry 1980, and you can read here also. This is the definitions of leadership. And then we can continue to the conclusion. So it means that the leader is so as a process, as an interactive process, the dynamic interactive process, including 3 dimensions: leader, employee, and situation. Leadership, there are 2 concepts of leadership based on Griffin, right? As a process where leader use his influence, and also based on attribute. Leader is a group of characteristics which it is owned by the leader. So the leader has a lot of characteristics, right? And then basically leadership needs 4 aspects. Maybe followers, maybe distributions of powers, and maybe power to influence, or the last one, maybe leadership value. Yeah, there are 4 aspects. Now, leadership. Leadership means number 1 is about personal, yeah, personal approach, and also maybe behavior, and then maybe contingency, and maybe we can say another approach about leadership. Personal, yeah, personal approach about leadership we can display here. Leader and not a leader. Effective leader and not an effective leader. The second one is approach based on behavior. Maybe there is two function from leadership function. Here there are task related function and also group maintenance function. And here the style of leadership based oriented to work, and also there is oriented to the people who give attention and maybe take care of the team and make sure that all the people get satisfied to his job. And also there is a contingency about the leadership here. It means situational and needs to take time to listen any idea, any we need to discuss something. We don't you A if A. No, we need to listen. A maybe we can B or C and something. We have to discuss, right? And here about the another leadership approach here. There are three elements. It means in charismatic, able to arrange vision for the future, and able to give strength or power to the people, and also able to build relationship or networking with others. And there's transformative leadership. This is the another approach. This is where this is not general. Uh, we we cannot say this is general, and this is to realize the mission and to push the member to do research, maybe to do something, or able to inspire his employee or staff to do to find the new thing that need to know, that need to do. And we know that how to be a good leader, how to be a wise leader. Do not be an emotional person. Calm down. And then not selfish. I am the boss. No, you are not the boss. Without an employee, you are not the boss. Okay. Now we come to the 11 characteristic of the leader. Yeah. Able to give value to himself. He can evaluate himself. Maybe I cannot do this. Maybe I cannot do this. Nobody's perfect here. And then able to understand the situation based on the realistic condition, and then able to give try to have a mark on the prestige, realistic of course, right? And then have a responsibility and being independent, yeah, being independent person. And then also we can control our emotion, and our characters number 7 is purpose oriented or goal oriented, and then oriented to extrovert and social responsibility, and has a faith. And for example, we hope that everything will be okay after this. I believe it. And then number 11, happiness orientation. That's it about leadership. How about motivation? Motivation means in management, it means that we can make someone to do something. We can support someone to do something. We push, that's motivation, to get our goal. Or motivation can be like this, intrinsic and extrinsic. Why we need motivation? Because we have a dream, right? We cannot get our dream without motivation. This is the motivation theory. You can read here. Abraham Maslow, Hasberg, Douglas McGregor, Broom, McClellan, and so on. Okay. The motivation based on theory based on Abraham Maslow. Here there is a hierarchy needs, self-actualization, and also rewards, and social and security and physiology. And there is a Hasberg here based on hygiene. There is hygiene factor, means the extrinsic factor, and also the motivator factor, intrinsic factor. And also there is the Douglas McGregor, means the negative and the positive one. Then there is the motivation, positive motivation, and also there is negative motivation. Based on Broom here, the cognitive theory based of theory of motivation means the motivation, there are three components that can decide the motivation here: the expectation of a successful task, and also the instrumental is that about what will be when we do this, we get something. And then also fallacy, response to outcome, like positive feelings, natural and negative. Yeah, fallacy. And also achievement of theory McGilligan means three things that we become the human needs: need for achievement, need for evaluation, and need for power. And Clayton here shows the existence, the relatedness, and growth. Okay, the position of human research quality here: weak and underhand, also frustrated, and then sometimes loser, or maybe bad lazy man, and sometimes lucky man. We can, this is the position of the human resource. Motivation, yeah, work motivation means based on the conditions on it. And quality, yeah, the quality of work, of job, it is based on knowledge, perception about his job. When you do not know something, how could you to have a quality, right? And then there is a few definitions of motivation here. It's a process of development. It means that you bring the behavior of a group or a person to have an output which you are expected, and then based on the goal, of course. And maybe you can see as a motivation is a supporting thing that make people or an organization here able or willing to do or push himself to do something, yeah, based on his skill and having a responsibility to do something to achieve the goal. Be innovative here. Be strong to yourself, yeah, and change the way of thinking, and also get out of the box and think about a new idea, a lot of ideas, and change your bad habit. It means that reading a lot and find knowledge. So there is write your idea and action. Not talk, less action. Be more in action. This is motivation as individual push. Yeah. We can show that in this diagram. This what happened here. We find we need and then we evaluate. And need here, it is needed. Yeah, we think that I I don't have this, I don't have this, but actually we have there is a balance. Yeah? There is an unbalance between perception and what we have to do. For example, you are asked to do the job and you say that I cannot do this, but you want to get money, but you don't want to go to work. Is it possible? I don't think so. It means the post is how to there's an effort, yeah, to solve this push. For example, the push oriented on action considerably based on someone, and the point is motivation. Without motivation, you cannot do it. For example, your boss or your leader doesn't care about you, so you will say, what for I do it, right? And then also the purpose. Purpose means here to develop the balance in yourself. And this, for example, there is 5% perspective and work motivation. Hope, balance, decisions of the goal, and also need and strengthen. And also the we see is hope, right? People will motivate when they get incentive. Of course, when you do this, I will give you here. I will give you money. For example, I will give you bonus. I will give you another money outside your salary. So we'll be having a motivation. And also there is a perspective talking about equity theory here. People will compare. People will compare incentive or reward, yeah, getting by you or your friend. Yeah, we will. Sometimes there is when you get only 1,000 and your friend get 2,000. Yeah, there will be jealous, right? Yeah. And also there is the deciding perspective of deciding the goal for the purpose. For example, like here you can read here. Maybe people will love to the more challenging things. Yeah, when you have no goals and no motivation to your employee here, so it will not work at all. And then also there is a needs perspective and about motivation here, the hierarchy needs by Abraham Maslow. There is the RG and also and so on. You can read here. And this is you can read here also. There is a self-esteem, low belonging, safety, and psychological. And this is the ERG, and this is the about Atkinson McLean, and motivation and job satisfaction here. I need you to understand this and you read more about this, and please use your English well here. No, we don't read this. Supervision. We talk about supervision here. Supervision means that and observe by observing all kind of the job done by our employee. Is it based on the plan or not, or is it good or bad? We can do the supervision here. And also supervision is the systematic to decide the standard job performance on planning, or maybe designing the response information, responding to the information, or maybe comparing actual job performance with the standard decided to decide what has maybe what is faulty, and then also taking the good thing that guarantee that all results is used effectively and efficiently to get the goal. And also, what is the function of the supervision? Yeah, atmosphere adapting, yeah, adaptation. And also here to minimize the failure, and also to cost cost minimum, yeah. And also complexity organization, complexity anticipation. And also here there are steps in supervision process, means that there is a job evaluation, and there is a method here, and also there is a standard about it. And then yeah, job evaluation, and then is it based on the standard or not, and then is we need to do the evaluation, and we need a correction here. Here are the symptoms that need supervision and control. Lack of profit or income, we need supervision. Lack of service quality, we need supervision. And then what else? The employee dissatisfaction, and also lack of cash, yeah. The decreasing of the cash, we can do the supervision. And number 5, a lot of non-active worker, maybe we can do a supervision also. And then we can do supervision when the job is not organized well. And also a lot of budget, of course, yeah. When you have a lot of budget, we need to suspicious, yeah. We need to supervise our employee, yeah. What happened, what for, what is the money for. And also yeah, become spend the money, a lot of money, and inefficient, we need supervision. Defending the supervision function, here there are 2 approaches here in maintaining controlling function. Number 1 is traditional supervision. Number 2 is supervision based on commitment. The traditional, here there are 3 things: that diagnostic supervision, and also limited supervision, and also interactive supervision. System of supervision based on commitment, here it is more to supervision function to internal. You need to think about internal than external. And also it is expected that employee will be accustomed to initiative, innovative, and responsible to do a correction toward himself, maybe self evaluation. And then now we continue to our supervision function. It's about explanation, yeah. And then also we can accounting, yeah. This is we can and supervision, recheck and recheck, and obedience. What about the purpose, the aim and the purpose of supervision here? To know, is it okay or not okay here? And also to we try to fix the problem, yeah. And to know the budget, what happened to the budget. And the last one is to know, is it suitable program or not. Number 5 means that it is based on the plan or not. For example, you want to build a L-shaped building, and then your employee build Z-shaped building. It is not the same based on the plane. Supervision type here, there are three. For example, introductory supervision and Cochrane, and then flashback and responding. Yeah. Here we come to intern and extern first, and preventive and repressive, and also active and passive, and based on formal based on pragmatic hate, and then also about the outcome. Yeah. The supervision intern and external, it means that here internal here from built-in control, of course built-in control, and also external here, it means that we need to arrange and responsible about the financial into, yeah, we need to supervise it. Preventive and repressive. Preventive means that before, repressive after. We need to understand the, for example, before you do something, you need to make a financial statement about what you need. You need to propose something. For example, you need 100,000, for example, and then after the project, you only need money about 90,000, and then there is more 10, but you just keep silent. So we need to understand the preventive and repressive first. The passive and active here means here you can read here above, and also continue about the controlling and supervising function here to make sure, of course, to make sure what happened, and also the activity in doing supervision and controlling. Here you can read here: planning, organizing, controlling, and leading. Yeah. You can read the picture here. You need to plan it. Yeah. And then when you plan, and then there is an action here, there is an organizing, and then the leading to motivate, motivate the member of the organization to do based on the plan, and also you need to control, of course, control, and maybe evaluate the system or evaluate the program. What should we do in supervision process? We need to decide the standard, and then we need to decide to measure how to measure the activity, and then how to measure the real action, and also to compare. We made a comparison, and we need a correction when it is required, of course. Why the supervision is required? Why supervision is important? Yeah, you can read here. There are 4: the changing of organization of atmosphere, maybe organization complexity increase, maybe based on mistake, or maybe the manager need. How you can formulate the result? You can decide, and then also based on the input, maybe the result on the first step, and then the symptoms, and maybe the changing of the assumptive condition. And also we can see the result and the clues under, yeah. And also there is information, and there is a response. Of course, there is the information in taking an action. Strategic supervision here, the effective system, and also the job must be effective, yeah. And also about this, the financial transactions is about the relationship, and then also about the production operation. What needs, yeah, we need here management by execution, management information systems, and MBE. Here we can see the standard, and then there is the scale here, and then is there any symptoms, or maybe there is a mistake or what, and then yes or no, no need to correct, and then yes, maybe you can do, is it based on the exception or not, and yes, no need, yeah, of course no need, and yes, what will happen, you need to analyze it and do something. There is management of information system here. We try to descend to 4 steps. Number 1 is the survey, and try to identify the problem, and then design the conceptual and design in detail, and also the final implementation. The characteristic of the effective supervision here, we can see the accurate, on time, and then overall and effective, objective, and also the reality in economic and flexible, and accepted by the member of organization. I think this is our meeting about the 9th meeting until the 15th meeting. This is as we know that today we are having pandemic, and I need you to stay home, and but it doesn't mean that we stop learning, right? So be careful and keep the social distancing, keep the cleanliness, wash your hands, wearing mask, and then stay at home. I think today is nice class, and have a big applause for you all. And thank you, and see you on our final exam. Of course in English, yeah, of course in English. But don't worry, you can use English and Indonesia both, but bilingual needs to use English, of course. Thank you.